all, and welcome to another great session for Cash Coin and conversation with the pros on the PP 2.0. Thank you so much for connecting today to this session. Um, my name is Frida Rodiles, and I am the Business Development Specialist for the WBBC COVID Response Team. And it's my entirely pleasure to host this event for our Zoom attendees and for our Facebook viewers. Thank you so much for sparing a couple minutes of your day to share with us and to learn a little bit more about the PPP 2.0. It is my pleasure today to introduce today's session for WestStar Bank. Thank you so much for WestStar Bank for agreeing to support these programs to teach our community, the businesses from our city, and how to take advantage of these wonderful programs to support their business during this pandemic. But before I can jump into our speaker of the day, which is wonderful, I'm going to go ahead and talk to you a little bit more about our vision and mission here at the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. We've been here in town for already over 30 years. And the vision of the Chamber is to continue to be the core component for El Paso region in fostering entrepreneurial economic development, where our existing companies are growing, where our entrepreneurs are reaching new horizons, and where our small minority and women-owned businesses are thriving and outpacing all other markets. So basically, our vision is to become your corner people, right? If you have an idea, if you want to start a business, if you want to expand your business, if you want to go ahead and try new horizons and new business opportunities, we can help you with that, right? We've been here. We have more than 5 business development specialists. We have more than 3 women's centers that can assist you with business registration, license, anything you need, any area the business needs to have available and in order, we can help you with those on the right path. So what are the benefits of the Hispanic Chamber? As a business owner, you need obviously sometimes a little bit of guidance, right? Where to go, how to do it, what do I need to do in order to get to where I want to be. So great of the benefits of the Hispanic Chamber are the business developments. You get to sit down with someone who can review your business plan, who can help you set up your business plan, to tell you what is needed, what is required by the city to open a restaurant, a gym, a hair salon. We can help you with that. We can sit down on one-on-one consultations and guide you. We want to know what is your business need and how can we help you get where you want to be. Also, you get the benefits of the networking events. Sometimes we don't know how to connect with the community, how to spread the word, how can we highlight our products and services, how can we get out of the shadow and get into the light, how can we let people know that we are open and ready for business. Well, the networking events that we organize through the entire, we have probably between 3 or 4 events per month where you get to know business owners, their managers, their employees, their products and services, and how do you can, even get in partnership with them. How can you work in a new project? So these networking events allows you to connect with the right people, with the right businesses. Also the financing. I mean, we are here to support your business. We know sometimes it's difficult to have some money to start a business. So here at the Hispanic Chamber, one of the women's centers is sponsored by the Small Business Administration. And they're one of the good lenders, great lenders to help startups. So if you don't know where to go to get money, give us an opportunity. We can guide you. If it's not one of the small business SBA products, we can always put you in connection and connect you with one of the institutions, financial institutions that we work with. So if you don't know where to go, stop here at the Hispanic Chamber and we might be able to connect you to some financial assistance. We can also have the advocacy group. You need someone to be your voice in front of the decision makers, right? So in case you're not comfortable with something that is happening at the city, on the state, if you think that El Paso should have other kind of industries or anything that you have in mind, you can go ahead and sit down with our advocacy team and see how we can help you. If you want to go ahead and, get a comment or an idea to one of our local representatives, we can go ahead and help you with that as well. So the best way to get in contact with the advocacy team is just give us a call, and then we can hear you up, and then we can help you and get things done. And then the procurement. These procurements are unbelievable. It's a great team. It's a great way to get in contact with business opportunities. What do you need to get advantage of these business opportunities from the government? If you need certifications, if you need to work with the government, anything to give extra value to your business, we can help you with that as well. So these are just a couple of benefits of the Hispanic Chamber, but most of anything is just the fact that we can be your corner people. Hey, I need this, Frida can help you. Hey, I need that, Miss Mary be able to assist you. So we become an extension of your business. So that is always good. The ETA centers. We are proud to say that the Hispanic Chamber has in-house of 3 women's centers. These women's centers, the Women's Business Water Center has been with us for more than 20 years. Woo! And I just want to specify that even with this called Women's Business Water Center, we can also assist the gentlemen out there that are trying to start a business. So the Women's Business Water Center assists businesses from 0 to 3 years with a license, with a registration, with permits, with access to capital. And also they can assist you with a woman's own small business certification. So we can assist you to that to give extra value to your company. The second center that is available here at the Hispanic Chamber is the MBDA Business Center. They take care of businesses that are trying to expand and get new horizons, right? So if your business is already 3 years, that is considered like an adult business. You already go through, the testing time. So if you're already 3 years, you may be able to sit down with the MBDA business specialist and see how can your business get into the next level and get into new business opportunities. They also assist you with a certification, and that can guide you into become a vendor for the city or for the state. They can also assist you to get the certifications to work for the government and to bid for new business opportunities. Again, give us that opportunity to help you. And the third center is the MWEDC Center. For this one, we can actually have a facility to become an extension for your business. This facility is located on 4141 Pinnacle Street, and we have more than 5 offices. They can they can help you to get your new members orientations, or they can assist you with your employees, classes, anything you need. We have a conference room. They're all equipped and ready to serve. So all these centers can go ahead and assist you and become, again, an extension of your business. But the time is here. And it is my entirely pleasure to introduce to you to the expert, the pro, about the PPP, the Patient Protection Program 2.0. Ms. Mara Portillo, she's a Senior Vice President and Compliance Officer for WestStar. Ms. Mara Portillo, she's responsible for overseeing the bank's compliance risk management program. During her time at WestStar Bank, Mara has served in a number of roles within the bank, including compliance risk manager and senior and audit associations. Mara has worked in the finance service industry for over 12 years, including as credit analysis for financial institutions and at the U.S. Small Business Administration Disaster Loan Services Center, where she serves as a loan serving officer. Mara is an active member of the community. She has been a member of the Women's Funds of El Paso Board of Directors since 2015, where she has held leadership positions such as the treasurer and vice presidents, and it is currently serving as president of board. In addition to her banking experience, Mara is a proud graduate of the University of Texas, El Paso. Woo! She holds a Master of Business Administration and a Bachelor of Business Administration in Finance and International Business from the university. Mara is also Certified Regulation Compliance Manager, which is a CRCM. Thank you so much, Ms. Mara, for doing that. And before you can go ahead and take over this presentation, I just want to remind for all of our viewers in Zoom and Facebook, if you have a question, Ms. Mara is going to do a presentation right now, but we're going to go ahead and open the Q&A section at the end. So please feel free to submit your questions. We will go ahead and get to them by the end of the presentation. Thank you so much, Ms. Mara. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Freda. I'm very good. Thank you for having me. I wanted to thank the Chamber, the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, for having me. and in this holding this wonderful program that will inform the community and the small businesses of the benefits of obtaining a PPP loan. And hopefully we'll be able to answer all of your questions and get you some clarification on issues or questions that you may have. So with that, I'm going to start sharing my screen. Please let me know if you are able to see it.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to give a little update on what the Paycheck Protection Program relaunch is. If you have any questions, please let me know. So basically, what we know is beginning Monday, January 11th, community financial institutions began accepting and submitting new first draw PPP loan requests through the platform. On January 11th, on January 13th, they began accepting a second draw PPP loan requests and submitting them on SBA's platform. WestStar Bank began submitting first and second draw loan requests through SBA's platform on Tuesday, January 19th. So we are already accepting and processing applications for first and second draw loans. I have a little disclaimer at the bottom. There is a lapse between when a lender submits the information to SBA and when they get approval. If you were a first PPP round recipient, I believe financial institutions informed you immediately of when the loan was approved. SBA has said that there is a little bit of a lapse time between when the financial institutions submit the request to SBA and when it gets approved. So just a little disclaimer. Moving on to first draw eligibility. So if you did not receive a PPP loan during the first round, so the first round ended on August 8th of 2020, you now have the opportunity to apply for a PPP first draw loan on or before March 31st of this year. That is when the program closes and expires. You must have been an entity or a business that was in operation before February 15th, 2020, have no more than 500 employees. There's certain exceptions for that based on SBA's revenue-based size standards. It could be a small business, an independent contractor, self-employed individuals, or sole proprietors. There's also certain tax-exempt nonprofits such as 501c3, 501c6, and 501c19 that are eligible for the first draw PPP loans. Tribal businesses, housing cooperatives, destination marketing organizations, and eligible news organizations are also entities that can receive a first draw PPP loan. If you're a seasonal business, even if you were dormant or not operating as of 2015, and there's a little bit more that goes into that, you can apply for a first round PPP loan, and you must have operated at least 12 weeks within the year. For a second draw, and there's certain eligibility differences from the first draw. So in order to be eligible for a second draw PPP loan, you must have received a first draw PPP loan during last year's round. You will have or have used all the loan amount for eligible expenses from your first PPP loan prior to when your second PPP loan is disbursed. You must have no more than 300 employees. So this is a big difference from the first round to the second draw. In the first draw, it's 500 employees. In the second draw, it's 300 employees. And you must have also had a reduction of 25% or more in gross receipts in any quarter during 2020 when compared to 2019 or year over year. So let me give you an example here. You have the option of choosing any quarter. So for example, if you had a reduction in the first quarter 2019 compared to 2020 compared to 2019, it's quarter over quarter. So that reduction must have been first quarter 2019 compared to first quarter 2020. Or you also have the option of using the full year, 2019 compared to 2020. You get to decide if you want to do it by using a specific quarter or the whole year. And there's specific guidance available for certain businesses that operated only in certain quarters. There's a long list of ineligible businesses. So for example, like we stated, if you were not in operation before February 15, 2020, you would not be eligible for either a first or second draw loan. If your business has permanently closed, obviously, if you've been engaged in any activity that is illegal, if you're a passive real estate entity, if you're a lender or a financial services business, the last couple of bullets are a bit long, but if any of the owners have been incarcerated or felonies, etc., or if a business is controlled by anybody that works for the SBA or has defaulted with loans under the SBA, if there's entities that have an affiliation with China, or this is part of the Economic Aid Act that was passed. There is also a shuttered venue operator grant, designated for concert halls and things like that. So if you have received any grant under this shuttered venue operator grant program, then you are not eligible for a PPP loan. Excuse me. There are significant changes to the covered expenses, and this apply also if you have not if you received a first round PPP loan and you have not submitted your forgiveness request, you can expand the use of your funds for certain eligible expenses. For example, interest payments on any debt obligation incurred before February 15th, workers' expenses such as PPE, including costs related to adapting to federal health and safety guidelines, property damage incurred during 2020 due to disturbances that aren't covered by insurance, operating expenses including software, cloud computing, HR, and accounting needs, payments to supplier under contract purchase order for goods in effect prior to when you received the loan. Other employer provided insurance, for example, health, dental, vision, and life. These expenses, like I said, apply to PPP loans not already forgiven. So if you've obtained a PPP loan during the first round, if you recall, there were only certain expenses that you could use your money for. So 60% had to be for payroll, which that is still in effect. There were also, for example, utilities, certain employer paid benefits. And basically that was, in a nutshell, that was it. What this Economic Aid Act did is it expanded the use of that 40% that are non-payroll cost to include these expenses that I've listed here. And just as I said, again, I really want to reiterate that you still have to use the money for at least 60% of the payroll. That has not changed. 40% can be for other non-payroll expenses to include these items, but 60% still has to be used for qualified payroll expenses. So a little bit about the loan details. The loan term is 5 years. The interest rate is 1%. And clients still have a deferment for up to 10 months after the end of their covered period. So remember, your covered period is 8 to 24 weeks from when you get your funds dispersed. You can choose which to use, but the clock starts ticking when you receive your money. So you have to use your money between any of those 8 to 24 weeks. For first draw loans, the maximum loan amount remains at $10 million, and it's calculated by using your average monthly payroll, 2.5 times your average monthly payroll for either 2019 or 2020. So the regulations, they made it a little bit flexible that they allow you to use either 2019 payroll or 2020. An important thing to note is that if you have any employees or you yourself earn over 100,000, that is capped. So for example, if your average monthly payroll for you as a self-employed is 150, if your annual is over 150, you have to cap it at 100,000. This includes allowable increases in previous PPP loans. So certain entities are eligible to increase their existing loan, but there are certain restrictions and eligibility requirements that have to occur. Loans for second draw, the maximum loan amount is $2 million. There is the same thing, 2.5 times your average monthly payroll cost incurred in either 2019 or 2020. If you're an entity that has an NAICS code of 72, these are typically restaurants, you are eligible for 3.5 times your average monthly payroll in either 2019 or 2020. So this is one of the benefits of the new Economic Aid Act, that the government realized that restaurants had been largely affected because of the closures due to the pandemic and the lockdowns. So they said that these entities are eligible for 3.5 times the average monthly payroll versus 2.5. So there's certain required documentation that you must submit. SBA has an application, which is a 2483, or that is for your first draw loans. There's also a 2483 SD, that is for your second draw. And you fill out that application, but there's supporting documentation that you must provide to your financial institution. Depending on whether you based your loan amount on 2019 or 2020 average payroll, you will need to provide that supporting documentation so the institution can verify how you got your loan amount. You have to provide tax forms such as the 941s for the year that you use to calculate your average monthly payroll. If you have equivalent third-party payroll processor records showing that you've paid, that can be used in place of your tax forms. There's certain other requirements. For example, if you include state quarterly unemployment, then you need to provide those tax forms. If you include retirement plans as applicable in your payroll, you need to provide that documentation, or health, life, disability, and vision employer paid, then you have to provide that documentation as well. The most important thing is the payroll support, and it has to show a breakdown of your employees so financial institutions can determine if you have capped anybody earning over 100,000. For first draw PPP loan applicants, you must also provide a payroll statement or documentation indicating that you inclusive of the payroll period for February 15, 2020. This will prove that you were in existence prior to February 15, 2020, which is one of the requirements to be eligible to apply for your first draw PPP loan. If you are self-employed or a contract employee, you will need to provide your 2019 or 2020 Schedule C. Or if you're a partnership, you also need to provide your 2019 or 2020 as applicable K-1 statements. I'm going to also talk about briefly the loan forgiveness update. This applies to any individuals that received a PPP loan under the first round. Like I stated before, you have the option of selecting an 8 to 24 week covered period. That is the time that you have when you get the loan, when you get the money, to utilize all the funds. So you have between 8 to 24 weeks to utilize all your funds. If you have received an EIDL advance grant under the SBA, previously SBA had deducted that amount from your forgiveness amount. They are no longer doing that. If you have already applied for forgiveness and you received your loan forgiveness, but that amount was deducted, the SBA will get in contact with your financial institution to repay the outstanding balance. The SBA has also recently issued a simplified forgiveness application for loans that are $150,000 or less. If you have a loan that is $150,000 or less, there's a new application out there that you can submit to your financial institution. I've also included a page that has forms and guidance links, links to the 2483 for the first draw, 2483 for your second draw. Of course, as always, you can go to weststarbank.com. We have a PPP section that has resources, FAQs on not only first and second draws, but also on forgiveness. Of course, you can go to the SBA and Treasury website. The SBA has also a top line overview, like a one-page summary for first and second draw loans that will help guide you on the process. With that, Frida, I am done with the presentation. I will stop sharing my screen and we can go ahead and answer any questions.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mrs. Portillo. What a great presentation, right? I mean, I know, we know it's a lot of information to take in. It's like a lot of instructions and guidelines, and, and the list go on and on and on and on, and sometimes we know it's exhausted, but that's the reason why we create decisions for you. The business owner who is thinking about taking advantage of this program, we encourage you to take advantage of these programs. We don't know when the pandemic is going to pass, we are barely looking for the light at the end of the tunnel, and praying and hoping for the best. But as right now, this program is available into March 31st. So go ahead and apply. So let's go ahead and see about let's open the Q&A section, okay? So the first question that I have over here from our clients and members and attendees is, first of all, we all know that not all the banks are participating. We know WestStar Bank is participating. What are the limitations? Do you have to be a member, or can anybody go ahead and apply through you guys?
You do not have to be a member. If you are already a member and are interested, please contact your relationship manager. If you don't have an existing relationship with the bank, you can contact our client service center, and they will make sure somebody gets in touch with you.
Okay, and how do people get in contact with you? We know some financial institution, they are only doing by phone or through Zoom. How do you managing your clients right now, and who is trying to apply for the PPP?
Sure. You can call, like I said, our client service center at 915-532-1000 if you are not a member, or if you are a client of the bank and you do not remember who your relationship manager is, our client service center can direct you in the right direction.
Absolutely. Great, great. And as right now, are you guys accepting application and packaging for the PPP? Is the portal open right now?
Yes, we are accepting applications already. Everything is electronic. So if you contact your relationship manager or the bank, somebody will get in contact with you. And then we will send out, if you're an eligible entity, if we determine you're an eligible entity for the program, a link will be sent out to you for your application. And then you can go from there, fill out the application, provide the supporting documentation. Items will be reviewed just to make sure everything that we need is there, calculations are correct, all the supporting documentation is provided, and then they will move forward from there.
Okay, good, good, good. And just, we have clients that are not very on the technology side, businesses, they're business owners are not very into technology. The application is only online, or you have the option to sit down with a person and literally doing like the old days, like filling in the application. What is the option for the people that are not very technicians?
So unfortunately, the application is only online. However, we do have a team that is dedicated to reviewing these and supporting this. So if clients have any questions, we have a team that's available to troubleshoot. Your relationships managers have been trained so they can walk you through the process, but we also have a team that is dedicated to supporting and answering any questions that come across.
Okay, great, great, great information. So let's see. If I'm applying by myself and I'm doing it online, do I only have one time? Or what if I do a mistake on my application? Are you guys gonna review it and allow me to reapply? Or it's only one shot?
No, definitely. Like I said, we have a team that is dedicated to review every application before it gets submitted to SBA. So if we identify an error or have any questions, we will contact you and allow you to update your application and make sure that the changes have been made. So everything, we have a quality control that makes sure that everything is right before it gets submitted.
Okay, good. And when applying online, is that I imagine your software would allow me to upload the documentations, right? Am I gonna be able just to scan them and put it in your document, or do I have to send them physically to your office?
Nope, you are correct. You can scan them and upload them. The software does everything. It allows you to upload PDFs and different types of documents.
Okay, good, good. Okay, and let's go ahead, and I have another question right here. I just wanted to go to emphasize how WestStar Bank is gonna do it right now. You know, we have a lot of clients like, I don't know how to do this, how to do that. Different banks have their own, policies and regulations. But
Mhm.
El Paso, you already know for a fact that they're gonna be accepting application. The portal is open. Go and visit their website. Go ahead and click on the PPP tab. Try to submit the application. But keep in mind that now you have an entire team. They're going to be reviewing your application and walk you through the whole process. You're not alone on this. Western Bank is ready to serve you. Okay, so let's go ahead and ask you a couple questions over here. So how many applications are out there? How do I know which application is for me?
Okay, so there are two different types of applications. There is a 2483. That is the application that is used for first time PPP borrowers. And then there is a second one out there that is a 2483 SD for second draw. So that is the application that is available for individuals that this is their second PPP loan.
Okay, and I have a question over here. Says, I do not have employees. It's only me. And it's my first time, so I only do that 2483, or isn't a specific one for not having employees?
Nope, you would do your 2483 if you are self employed and have no employees. Your average monthly payroll, I'm assuming if you're a Schedule C filer, if you have a 1040 and you're a Schedule C filer, I believe it is line 31, the net profit. That is what you would use to calculate your average monthly payroll.
Okay, good, good. And let's go ahead and let me ask you about that one. I think it's pretty cool that now restaurants have that a little bit extra, you know. So now restaurants are going to be able to do 3.5 multiplied by your monthly gross and your in your and divided by 12. Um, how do I know I get to that? It's only because I'm an entity NSACIS, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes, you have to,
Okay.
your NAIC, your industry code has to begin with a 72.
Okay, great, great. I just want to put it out there because a lot of restaurants are like, what if I'm a food truck? Am I available? As long as you're following that entity, then you should be fine.
Yes.
Okay. Let me ask you. I have another question. What if I only use 59.9%? Is that gonna, like, I always tell my clients, try to use a little bit more than 60. Do not just cap it to 60. But what will happen? I mean, there is flexible, or is like I have to be 60. What if I use 59?
So unfortunately, the guidance is very clear. You have to be 60%. So there are certain safe harbors that are available. For example, if you had a reduction in employees because they were fired for cause, they left voluntarily, or they just didn't want to come back to work. There are certain exceptions for that, and there's a little bit more behind that requirements. And you were unable to hire similarly qualified individuals, as long as you have that supporting documentation, or for example, if you were a restaurant or a business that was required to close in the lockdown, there are certain safe harbors. Like I said, there's still a little bit more eligibility behind it. It's not that simple, but it depends on the situation. But straightforward, if you have not used 60% of your payroll, the likelihood is that some of your loan amount may not be forgiven and you would have to repay it.
Okay, there you go. So it's always safe, to use a little bit extra than 60. I have clients saying, Frida, can I use 100%? The answer will be yes, absolutely, right? But you still have that 40% window to pay for other debt, okay? But thank you for answering that question. So I have another question over here. What if I was behind with the IRS, but now I'm current? Like, what will be that? I mean, you say in your presentation, um, but what if that person already fixed her issue with the IRS?
Okay, that's a little bit, that requires that's very, very specific. Unfortunately, I'm not sure what the response would be for that. I do recommend if you have a tax professional, a CPA, a bookkeeper, somebody that can advise you on that. That's a very specific issue that probably would need to have a little bit more research.
Okay, sounds good. And then let me ask you, you said that on the first round, if you apply for the economic injury and disaster loan and you got the idle cash advance, that was deducted from the first one. What if I'm a first borrower, right? From the first round, and then I own $1,000. Are you gonna be fixing it on the second round? So that means that I don't owe it anymore. Is that what I understand?
Yeah. So what happens is if you had your first round and then your loan was forgiven with the exception of that $1,000, to follow your example, what the SBA is doing is they're going to pay that money back to the lender. So it has nothing to do with your second round. They will pay that money back, and then if you and you won't have a debt, your loan will be paid off. Your first round PPP loan will be paid off, and then separately is your second round, whatever you qualify for your second round.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you for that. And I have another question over here. And it says, um, why two cover periods? Can you give us some intel information on why the 8 weeks or the 24 weeks? How am I gonna know which one to pick?
Sure. So if you remember, initially it was only 8 weeks, which is about 2 months. And I think what happened is that a lot of people were not eligible, or I'm sorry, not eligible, but they were unable to utilize all their money between those 8 weeks. So what the government went and did is extended it to 24 weeks. So you have between 8 and 24 weeks to use your funds. And this was done to allow businesses to have more time to spend their money, because there were some businesses that they were unable to spend all their money during those 8 weeks, especially because some of the covered expenses were very limited. So that's what they did. Now, with that said, if you are a first round, or even if you're a second round PPP and you spend all your money in 16 weeks, you can already begin and apply for forgiveness. You don't have to wait for the 24-week period. It just gives you
That window,
a
right? Like
little
if
window, exactly, because 8 weeks was very little for some companies to use their money.
Absolutely. I have clients that say, Frida, I finished on the first week, like on the first 3 weeks. I'm like, if you're ready, go ahead and submit the forgiveness.
Exactly.
But I think that 24-hour companies with 300 employees, when they have to really, really, disperse the money, use it and prove it. Because keep in mind, with the PPP is most of the things is proving that you use the money on the 60, on the rules. So with the government paper checks, you have to prove, you have to be in order. So this is a learning experience. You might need to get a bookkeeper, getting very good relationship with your financial institution. They can go ahead and assist you. So let me ask you another question. I have clients also, they're like, Frida, I already submit my PP forgiveness application for the first round, but they say they're behind. So let me ask you, what if I already submitted, but I do not have a response yet from SBA? Am I going to be able to apply for the second round?
Yes, you will be able to apply. What the guidance says is, well, and I do want to give a little bit of disclosure. This is what the guidance says as of now. As we know, guidance is issued every day, so things can change. But as of now, what the guidance says is that you must have used or will have used the money. It does not reference that you should have applied already for forgiveness. We encourage you to do so. However, the guidance clearly says that you must have used or will have used your money by the time your new loan gets dispersed.
Okay, good, good, good. So let me ask you a question. I finished your application with you online. How long it takes from you guys to respond? And if when you respond, it's gonna be like a one thing, or is like you guys are gonna be back and forth with me? How do I know that my application is completed?
Okay, so WestStar will provide you with emails saying your application has been submitted, your application has been received. Like I said, we have a team dedicated to reviewing these applications and making sure that everything is correct. So if we have any questions, either your relationship manager will contact you and give you an update. With the software that we have, you will be able to log in where you filled out your application and see an update. If your application is approved or if additional documentation is needed, you will, like I said, get contact from your relationship manager or an email. So we will keep you updated on the status of your application through the whole process. Unfortunately, we're working as hard as we can, as fast as we can. I can't give you an exact time, that it's going to take a week, a couple of days. We're moving these as fast as we can because we know that the demand is out there and, people want their money. So we're working these as fast as we can. Like I said, if additional documentation or clarification is needed, we will contact you and let you know.
Okay, good. Thank you for that. Good answer. One question. I have a client asking, what if I already applied and I was denied? Can I apply somewhere else?
That depends why you were denied. If you were denied because you're an ineligible entity under the items that I let you know, the likelihood is that you would not be eligible at another institution. It just depends on the reasons why you were denied.
Okay, good. Yeah, you have to make sure that you have everything on file, and there you're applying. And when people get denied, they usually give you the reason why.
Mhm.
And that way, it's not going to be like, no, you don't qualify. They give you a reason. So keep up on that. So let me ask you about also, the fraud. Believe it or not, there are a lot of fraud going on with the second stimulus package, with the PPP. So what will be something that you can let your borrowers to know? This is us. If it's something looks funny, give us a call. How can you prevent fraud with the PPP with your clients?
So that's a very good point. So for example, if you know, if you will receive an email that lets you know if you apply with us, somebody's going to call you. If you will send you a link. There are institutions out there, excuse me, that because a lot of the data for the first round of PPP loans has become public, there are institutions out there saying that they're working on behalf of the bank or other banks, and they can help you fill out your form. Contact before you engage with these companies, contact your financial institution and ask them, for example, hey, I got an email from this other company. They say they work with you. Verify before you give anybody your information. Like I said, at least on WestStar's website, we have FAQs. We have, if you have a question, you can fill out a form and submit a question. We have all the resources out there, and we are doing the applications ourselves. So there's no entity that we're working with. There's no third party. So before you release any information and contact your institution and ask them if they have contacted somebody else, a third party, to contact you on their behalf.
Absolutely. Just keep in mind that WestStar is not gonna go ahead and send you an email. Just, hey, go ahead and apply on this. You go and visit their website. And even if you receive an email with WestStar saying, hey, by the way, PP is open, just go to the source, right? Go to the website, look for the application there. I mean, even if a friend forward you a link, don't do it. We really encourage you to be very alert because fraud is out there. So like Miss Portillo said, just make a call. Just say, hey, I received this. Seems legit, but I feel funny. So just go ahead and make sure because there is a lot out there. So let me ask another question that comes just on the show right now. It says, for loans under 150,000, do I need to fill up an application or is considered already forgiven?
You do need to fill out, very good question. You do need to fill out an application. And submit the application, sign it. There are certain attestations that you need to make. You have to certify that you use the money for the intended purpose and things like that. It's about a 2-page application that you still need to fill out.
Okay, good. And Mrs. Portillo, can you give us a brief list, or what are the documentations that people are going to be able to submit with the forgiveness?
Sure, absolutely. So it's basically the same thing. If you are 150,000 or less, you do not have to submit any supporting documentation, which is great. You only fill out the application and submit it to your financial institution. We make sure that everything is correct, the loan amount and all that stuff. If you are over 150,000 with your application, you once again need to submit supporting documentations for your payroll. So whatever period you decide to use between those 8 and 24 weeks, you need to upload supporting documentation showing that you use the money for the intended purposes. If you are using non-payroll expenses such as utilities and things like that, you need to upload utility invoices and check stubs or bank statements showing that you paid for it. For the payroll, you also need to submit either third-party payroll reports or bank statements or copies of checks showing that you were paying payroll, along with your tax forms such as 941s.
Okay, good, good. And we haven't done the taxes for this year. So are you guys gonna be requiring, like, because we don't have them yet? So bank statements, right? Whatever the bookkeeper can give you is a good proof. Check stubs, right? I mean, we receive a lot of phone calls like, how are you asking me for these taxes? We haven't done them. I'm like,
Mhm.
no, 2018 and 2019,
Yes.
if available, because those are completed. And any kind of documentation. The good thing about applying with your primary financial institution is that they already have a little bit of records, right? I mean, you guys can go ahead and take a look, because I want them to also, I like to emphasize, this is like applying for a financial product. People in the government and you guys have to make sure that everything is legit and in order. We have experienced a lot of businesses that they don't have a structure, right? Like the structure,
Mhm.
like sole proprietorship, LLC, they don't know how to do it because they have done it everything like home base, like very basic. But this is a learning experience. So you do, as a business, you need to build that structure, everything in order with your bank statements and everything. Let me ask you another question. What if the client that is applying with you has a negative credit with you, or it has like a debt with you? Is that gonna be an issue, or is like two separate things?
No, I mean, obviously it's on a case by case basis, but generally it should not be an issue if they have another loan with us. Um, it shouldn't be an issue. But like I said, it just depends. It's on a case by case basis. I don't want to tell you no. And then, um, as you dig into it more, it's a little bit more complicated than that. But generally, if you have another loan with us, if you have, that shouldn't affect it. But like I said, it depends on the circumstances.
Okay, good, good. So do you check credit for the PPP?
No, we do not check credit for the PPP. That's not a requirement under the guidelines issued by the SBA.
Okay, good, good. So let me just go ahead and see if I have more questions over here. Um, so 1099s can apply. What if I'm a business and I'm a home-based business? Can I apply?
If you're a home-based business, as long as you have a Schedule C, you can apply. And for the 1099s, I'm glad you mentioned that. They are also to calculate the payroll that would be under their Schedule C. So submitting the 1099s is not a supporting documentation because they would file as a self-employed or contract employee a Schedule C. So for those 1099 filers, for those home-based businesses, if you have a Schedule C, that is what you will utilize. Like I said, your net profit is what you would utilize to calculate your average monthly payroll. And I think it's line 31, I think.
Okay, good, good. And I have a question here from one of our attendees. I'm going to try to read it as good. It says, good morning, Mrs. Portillo. Question 6. I don't know if you have the application there, but it says in question 6, in SBA form 2483, for the second borrower, is causing confusions due to the lack of clarity in the verbatim. Verbat. Are they specifically asking for fraud? Is question 5 and 6 asking specifically for fraud or for a false statement in commission of submitting and executing an application for the federal funding? I don't know exactly how to. I think it's too much for the question, but
This one might be a little bit too much detail.
Yes. So
So
what I can understand, question 6 from the 2485, question 5 is talking about fraud. Are you like a business that is doing fraud can apply for PPP? Is that what I'm getting? Or are they asking about general infractions of fraud? I think it's a very specific question. So what I'm gonna do for our anonymous attendee, I'm gonna just go ahead and forward this question to Mrs. Portillo on an email, and that way she can go ahead and reply. Um, because as right now the question is very very under detail, so it's kind for me to ask as a question. I do apologize for that. It's very 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 detailed. But I'm gonna just go ahead and copy these questions, and I'm gonna go ahead and send it to you via email, and hopefully we can do like a quick Facebook post or something just to answer these questions. But since Mrs. Portillo, we are, I think that's all for today. Let me just check that we don't have no more questions. We're good today. Mrs. Portillo, thank you so much for agreeing to do this for us, and especially for the community who has a lot of questions. The application is very detailed application. It's a lot of information, paperwork to turn in. The package is not a simple package. But this program is very good. What is your perspective? Like, what do you think about this? You think it was a good product for our community?
I do. I definitely do. I think having a second round is definitely going to help. I think at the beginning when this whole pandemic started, nobody realized that in the first month of 2021 we would still be having the same issues. I think everybody thought that it was going to be short term, which is why, for example, they did 8 weeks. But as the government and everybody continued to realize that this is not going away and that our businesses are hurting, I think that bringing out and reopening the program and allowing businesses to get an additional loan is definitely going to help the community, and it's going to help start our economy growing again and helping all these businesses that are, especially small businesses that are struggling, and trying to make it ends meet and keep the doors open. So I think it's a great program for our community. And of course, WestStar is always here to help and help our community. So as soon as we knew that this program was going to open up, we started getting ready and started reading as much as we could and making sure that we understood everything, how it was going to work and all the qualifications, because we knew that not only our clients, but the Borderplex region was going to need this stimulus to help us keep going.
Absolutely. Great answer. And before I let you go, Mrs. Portillo, I always like to ask, because we have this series with different financial institutions, but I would like to ask you to tell El Paso, our Facebook viewers and all our attendees, what are other great programs, I'm sorry, what other great financial products do you have available for small businesses? Do you have line of credits? Do you have loans? You have investments? What other great program Western Bank has for our business community?
Sure. So definitely we have always supporting small businesses. We have small business loans available. Like I said, contact if you have a client, a relationship manager, contact them. If you want more information, contact our client service center. We have deposit accounts tailored for small businesses, investments. We have a wealth management. So we have everything that's available to help meet your small business needs. Different types of loans and different types of deposit accounts available for you. If you go on our website, we have a business tab that will show you a list of everything that's available. Treasury management services also is available for our businesses in the community.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ms. Portillo. And there you have it, El Paso. If you don't know where to apply or where to get a financial account, a business account, don't look around. Go and visit Western Bank, and they most likely gonna go ahead and give you all you need, one stop for your business needs. Right, Mrs. Portillo? Thank you.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for everything you guys do for our community. And it has been our pleasure on behalf of the Hispanic Chamber. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this. Thank you so much. And just for everybody, if you would like to receive a copy of this presentation or the recording, just send me an email to frodiles@ephcc.org, and I will make sure you receive it. Thank you so much for everybody who connect today, and I wish you a wonderful Friday.